Egypt's Nile dry? The Nile River Basin is Africa's fastest-growing region. The Nile's basin most populous nations are Egypt and Ethiopia. Egypt and other upstream nations want to preserve their economy and improve their people's lives by utilizing natural resources like Nile tributaries. Due to colonial treaties, Egypt used the Nile River. Egypt blames these countries for water shortages. Egypt's water issue began before upstream nations' developments. Why can't the parties agree? Ethiopia is building a hydroelectric dam to restore its economy and offer energy to millions in rural regions. Critics criticize the Grand Renaissance Dam. Egypt's water supply is threatened, and its people rely on it for drinking and cultivation. Hey folks, welcome back to Studying Scholar. In this video, we are going to find out what factors have led to Egypt's diminishing water reserves. But before we begin, make sure you subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon so you don't miss any of our amazing videos. And let's begin. The Nile, which has provided Egypt with water since ancient times and continues to do so now, is nearly depleted. Since ancient times, the Nile River, which is the longest river in the world, has supplied Egypt with water and nutrients, including sediment that originates from the interior of Africa. Modern Egypt has mishandled the sacred Nile, which has resulted in the river becoming contaminated with sewage, rubbish, and toxic waste. Ancient Egypt revered the Nile, and Imperial Egypt viewed it as a valuable strategic asset. The government, which is responsible for determining the amount of money that is given to farmers, is not taking any action to stem the irreversible decline of the Nile. Because of global warming, its waters are beginning to evaporate. In recent years, there has been an undeniable rise in water shortage throughout North Africa, particularly in the country of Egypt, which has become a significant problem. Egypt is dealing with a rapid population expansion at the same time that there is not much agricultural land available at the same pace. This is only one of the many factors that contribute to the country's severe water shortage. Egypt has been the focal point of several climate-related reports over the last few years. These reports have resolutely established Egypt's position as a nation that is in high danger of experiencing water-related issues in the not-too-distant future, owing to a lack of available water resources. According to projections made by the United Nations, Egypt will be in the midst of an absolute water catastrophe by the year 2025, and the country is currently living below the water poverty level established by the United Nations. Last month, Egypt's Minister of Agriculture and Land Reclamation, Ez Eden Abosetit, declared that Egypt's position is below the level of water poverty, and that the country is suffering from water shortage. As a result, Egypt's standing is below the threshold of water poverty. The country does in fact have a water shortfall that has reached 54 billion cubic meters, and it requires a total of 114 billion cubic meters in order to meet all of its water requirements for agriculture, industry, and residences. Only roughly 60 billion cubic meters may be obtained from Egypt's resources at the moment. Remember to give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel so that you may view many more incredible facts about our world. Population explosion. The rapidity with which Egypt's population is expanding is cause for grave concern. Since the 1990s, there has been a 41% rise in the pace of growth. To give you an idea of how quickly the population is expanding, the government of Egypt reports that around 4,700 infants are born every week in Egypt. This should give you some idea of how quickly the population growth rate is. Egypt's population is currently expected to be somewhere around 97 million people, and there is a possibility that it may climb to 151 million by the year 2050. Egypt is currently ranked 13th in the world in terms of population. In the future years, Egypt's rapidly expanding population will provide further problems to the country's already limited resources, as well as to the country's social stability and economy. As a result, at the end of May, the Ministry of Social Solidarity initiated an aggressive program with a duration of 2 years titled Tu Kifaya, which literally translates to 2 children is enough, in an effort to reduce the number of children in Egypt, particularly in the most populous regions. It is important not to lose sight of the fact that the Nile River is the country's most important water supply, since rapid population expansion leads to increasing demand for water across the whole nation. Pumping low-salinity drainage water into the Mediterranean Sea causes the city to lose 1/3 of its water supply, while also consuming a significant amount of costly electrical power. Pollution. It is common practice to underestimate the degree to which the Nile River is polluted, which is a significant flaw when one considers the significance of the river to the Egyptian populace. Because the majority of people draw their drinking water, municipal water, and agricultural water from the river, it is extremely important to them. The unfortunate truth is that the river has been polluted with harmful chemical waste from industrial production, sewage leakages, municipal wastes, and the dumping of dead animal carcasses, to name a few of the culprits, which poses a significant threat to the health of humans, animals, and agriculture production. This is a painful reality. Inefficient irrigation. Because Egypt receives extremely little rainfall, less than 80 millimeters per year on average, the only option to make use of its agricultural area is through the use of irrigation. The irrigation procedures, on the other hand, have not been executed correctly, which has resulted in an excessive amount of water as well as the loss of water due to evaporation. The Aswan High Dam, also known as Nasser's Dam, is the source of the majority of Egypt's irrigation network. This dam controls the flow of water through more than 18,000 miles of canals and subcanals that feed land near rivers. According to the PRI, the system is inefficient, and as a result it wastes around 3 billion cubic meters of water from the Nile each year. The inefficiency has resulted not only in a loss in the available quantity of water, but also in a decrease in the amount of fertile land that is accessible for agricultural use, which has resulted in an increase in the number of people who are without jobs. Please be sure to click the like button and share this with your loved ones and close friends. Structural shifts in the region. Since the colonial era contract that ensured Egypt had a 90% share of the Nile River, Egypt has maintained a large amount of control over the water that is drawn from the Nile. This barred nations that bordered Egypt from extracting water from the Nile without first obtaining permission from Egypt. Egypt has lost control of the Nile over the course of time, and other nations, such as Ethiopia, are building dams along the river, which is a significant source of anxiety for the people of Egypt, particularly during the dry months. In the past, Egypt's President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has described Egypt's entitlement to a portion of the Nile River's water as a matter of life or death. Since the construction of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam in 2011, Egypt's primary worry has been the dam's huge storage capacity, which exceeds 74 billion cubic meters. Egypt and Sudan, which are downstream nations, get the majority of Nile water jointly as a result of agreements that were struck in 1929 and 1959 without Ethiopia's participation. Egypt receives 55.5 billion cubic meters of the expected yearly total of 84 billion cubic meters of Nile water production, while Sudan receives 18.5 billion cubic meters. The inaugural document was signed in 1929 by Britain on behalf of Egypt, which at the time was a British territory. Ethiopia started construction on the dam in 2011, and ever since then, Egypt and Ethiopia have been embroiled in a diplomatic conflict. The tension between the two countries reached its boiling point in 2013, when Egypt's deposed president made threats. The availability of water is a problem that is continuously becoming worse in Egypt on a daily basis, due to the fact that the temperature is projected to continue to become hotter and drier over time. The growing number of Egyptians necessitates an increase in the country's overall water intake to meet their needs. In light of the fact that the nation is gradually gaining its independence from the River Nile, it is one of the utmost importance that the government takes decisive and prompt action to enact water conservation measures such as water recycling and control the pollution of the water in the River Nile. And that brings us to the end of the video. Feel free to let us know what you think about this video. And if you like this video, then please leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more amazing content like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.